Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
Welcome to the Living Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel. We are here today in the month of July with Emmeline Cain, who is the Horry County Schools Teacher of the Year, and Fred Nesta, who does so much in our community. And we're getting ready for back to school time. Believe it or not, it's hard to believe that the summer is almost over and that the kids will be heading back to school. But coming back to school, I mean, you know, the summer is ending, so it is kind of a bittersweet moment, but there are so many exciting things about going back to school. We've got back to school shopping and getting to meet your teacher and meet the teacher night. Do you guys have any special memories that you remember from being a kid or sending kids off to school that stick out to you about heading back to school?
For me, it was the teachers that I had in high school in particular.
Yeah.
Did a lot to guide me into my career.
Yeah.
So without the teachers that I had, I may have done some different things,
Yeah.
but I had some really great teachers. And not just one, I had a bunch of great teachers in high school, so.
Yeah, I remember always loving the back to school night, and even before that, they would mail who your teacher was in the mail, and you would sit there and wait, and your friends would call and say, oh, I got my letter of who my teacher's gonna be this year, and you know, we're sitting there anticipating, well, like, my letter hasn't come in yet, so I remember that was something that was super exciting every school year, and I know, you know, from the perspective of a teacher, I'm sure it is a little different preparing to go to school as a student as opposed to now.
It is, but one of my favorite memories was my second grade year because my mom was my teacher.
How
and we were
fun.
at PD Elementary. So going in there, you know, I already knew my teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew the most, you know, there's nothing else to learn.
Right.
But anyway, by the end of the year, everyone called her Miss Mama because I couldn't call her Miss Cain because it was just not, it didn't feel right.
Right.
So by the end of the year, that was her name and it stuck. So that was one of my favorite memories.
That is so fun. And for all of you who've been watching the Financial Friday Community Panel for a year, you may remember Miss Cain, Emma's mom, who joined us last year to kind of talk about some back to school things. So that is a super special memory. And Emma, you are the Horry County Schools Teacher of the Year this year, which is super exciting.
So
what is that like?
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So it's really an honor and it's been very humbling, you know, especially to be recognized by your peers and, you know, your colleagues, that they see something special in you and really notice. You know, my platform is to reignite a passion for teaching and learning.
Yeah.
So for them to see that in me and see importance in it, you know, it's been a great experience, and I hope that I, you know, honor them and do a great job this year.
Which, and I'm sure you will. And like you said, you know, being able to kind of almost start your teaching journey through the shoes of your mom and see that and, you know, kind of grow up around teachers, seeing her with her coworkers the same way all of us do. You know, our parents, teaching has really always been a part of your life.
Yes, and to be able to represent the PD community has been really, you know, it's been a great experience, but to take that and be able to broaden my platform for the whole county is something that I'll never forget and I will take full advantage of. So I'm excited.
I'm sure. And then for people at home that, you know, don't know, Teacher of the Year is kind of a long process to be able to get to that point. So will you explain kind of what the journey of being Teacher of the Year looks like?
Sure, absolutely. So it started in November when they announced the school level winners.
Okay.
So your peers in your building pick and vote. So that was enough for me. I was so excited. You know, I'm I'm one of the youngest teachers at my school. So for them to see that is great.
Right.
So then it goes on for months and months, and you get narrowed down to a top 10.
Yeah.
And then you're able to talk a little bit more about where your platform is going to go and your community involvement. And they do this really huge part on literacy, where you have to show literacy, how you use literacy in your classroom.
Yeah.
and then it goes on to top 5, and then they come in your classroom. So you have 10 people coming in your classroom unannounced for over a 2-week period. So you have no idea when they're coming, how long they're going to be staying.
Right.
But that was the part I was most excited for. I was like, once they get in here, I know they're going to see great things.
Yeah.
You know, I can write all day, but to come in there and actually see it and live it, I knew that was my time to shine.
Well, and I have had the honor, and it really is such an honor for folks at home who, you know, don't have children of their own or aren't able to kind of go into the classroom. I've had the honor to visit your classroom and read to your students and really see how much they're impacted, which is so special. And so when we come back from the break, we are going to get to talk a little bit more about those students in the classroom, about their learning, and about how exciting it is for them to be heading back to school and how all of us in the community can help them this upcoming school year. Welcome back to the Living Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel. We are talking all about back to school this month, and we are honored to be joined by Cain, who is the Horry County Schools Teacher of the Year, and Fred Nesta, who does so much in our community, including his upcoming back to school drive. And so before the break, we were talking to Emma a little bit about the Teacher of the Year journey. But Emma, becoming a teacher, what was it that made you initially interested in being a teacher?
Well, I've had some really great teachers, you know, that have impacted me, and I grew up around teachers.
Right.
But my mom has by far been my biggest reason for coming into the classroom myself.
Yeah.
I think one of the things about her that I've looked up to so much is her dedication to our community.
Yeah.
She really creates an environment where children feel safe to take risks and, you know, be their absolute best.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be just like her.
Yeah.
So growing up at PD, in PD, I knew that was where I needed to be because I wanted to be just like her.
Yeah, and be able to kind of have that impact on the community.
Right. They say that, you know, teaching is not the filling of the bucket, but a lighting of a fire. So
yeah, which that is a really good analogy to put it. And I know, you know, Fred and I do a lot of things out and about in the community, and teachers, you know, you're constantly at the school, so there's not a lot of time during the day or that flexibility to be going out and about, but they're touching so many lives and truly serving the community by starting with our children, which is, you know, so important.
But you said it exactly the way it is it couldn't have been said better, because every time you try something, even failing, you learn something, and you learn more by failing in a lot of cases, doing something outside of your comfort zone than you do than just not trying at all.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
that's, you know, you have to build an environment where children are willing to take those risks and learn,
Right.
which is
Absolutely.
foundational for it all.
Right, knowing that they have adults that they can, you know, trust and that will be there to help them kind of pick up the pieces and continue to move on. And I know being a teacher, you know, it is a field right now that we are losing a lot of teachers. What are some of the reasons that you've continued to be a teacher and it's something that you're still very passionate about?
I think one of the biggest things is I keep going back every year because I know the power that I hold as a teacher.
Yeah.
You know, I'm molding our future leaders.
Yeah.
And with that being said, like, you want to make sure that you're prepared with that power. You have to make good use of it.
Right.
You know, you want to build these kids up and let them see the potential in themselves.
Yeah.
And that starts by, you know, my passion needs to be spread to them. So I need to let them, you know, or guide them to, you know, kindle their own fire and get that started so they have a passion for learning and can, you know, meet their full potential.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a really good point too, because I know, you know, Fred and I have both been on the other end as well as yourself, to where you've had good teachers that really care about it and kind of help you ignite that passion. And then you have other teachers that, you know, they're not as passionate about it themselves. And so you kind of feel that through a teacher's, you know, example. And so I think that there are definitely parts of that are super rewarding for you, but also challenging.
And I think it's important that to think, you know, when you say that teachers don't have that, you know, not all teachers have that passion, They usually do. Most
Yeah.
of them do, and that passion, you know, may have been lost.
Yeah.
And that's why it is, you know, my platform again is to help them find that, to help them remember why they became a teacher in the first place.
Right.
Because when you show that to kids, you know, it's like wildfire, it spreads,
Yeah.
that passion. So you want to, you know, provide that for them. So I think
Right.
that's more so of reminding teachers and providing them with the resources that they need, you know, to remember why we're here.
Right. Yeah. Why you started you know, in the beginning. And I know there's some super rewarding things. What are some of the challenging things about being a teacher?
I think that was, you know, we hit a little bit on that. I think that one of the biggest challenges I see now is the amount of teachers that are leaving the profession,
Yeah.
and good teachers too, because when we lose those teachers, the children, you know, that's a shift for them. We're giving them brand new teachers, and
Yeah.
which, you know, are learning, and it's
Right.
important that they're important, but it's important that we keep those mentors in the building.
As soon as we come back from the break, we'll talk a little bit about how our teachers can be their best and how the students can be their best in this upcoming school year. Welcome back to the Living Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel. We are talking all about heading back to school with our Teacher of the Year, Emma Cain, and Fred Nesta. And Emma, I know you have kids coming every single year back to school, and one of the big things with back to school is getting those supplies. So for parents at home that are looking now here in July to kind of get the things they need for their children, what kind of things can parents typically expect, and where can they find the list of items that their children may need?
So I think they have a district-wide supply list, and you can find it on the district page. It's under academics. You click the academics tab, and then for parents. And as soon as you click that, there's a list, and you just click school supplies, and it'll come up for your grade level.
That's
because
perfect.
each grade level is different. So be expecting your typical composition notebooks, pencils, maybe some markers and crayons.
Yeah.
It's not too extensive, so just your basic needs.
Yeah.
But always reach out to your teacher if you at open house, and they always appreciate if you ask if there's anything that's not on that list that they may need for their specific classroom.
For sure.
That's always beneficial because every classroom's different. None of them look the same.
For sure. And, you know, teachers may have different things that they want to do with your child to kind of enhance their learning throughout the year. So that's a great idea. And, you know, a lot of kids in our community sometimes aren't available to, you know, go out and get those things that they need. And we have lots of community helpers that put on fantastic drives. And Fred, I know you have partnered with Salt Life Church to do a big drive for back to school in the community. So if you'll tell us a little bit about that.
All right, there's Salt Lake Church identified through each municipality.
Yeah.
1,000 kids. They were asked to adopt 1,000 kids for school supplies.
Yeah.
And I got a call from a friend of mine from there asking to partner.
Yeah.
So he said anything for kids. So
Right.
So we're working on 1,000 kids. Right now we're behind.
Yeah.
But we'll fight right to the end to make
sure.
sure we get everything for the kids. And this is everything from backpacks to all the supplies. As a matter of fact, the district page has everything but high school, and we were given a list of high school things.
Awesome.
So the idea is on August 5th, they'll be going to the old Myrtle Beach Mall, and there'll be the backpacks will be filled. There'll be elementary room,
Yeah.
middle school tent, and high school tent. And there'll be all kinds of resources that are available in the community there as well.
That's wonderful to give, you know, not just kids some things that they need, but parents as well. And I know Carolina Trust is helping out with this event as a sponsor. We've also got boxes at our 21st Avenue, Holmestown Road, and Conway branch where people can drop off school supplies. People that are out and about in the community that are looking to maybe donate to this drive, how can they go about doing that?
They can go to any of the Carolina Trusts. They can go to any of the HH Hospitality restaurants in Horry County. They can go to Horry County Police. Surfside Police.
Wow. So lots of different areas
There's
all
a
over
lot,
the
yeah, we have a
Strand.
lot of locations.
And that's perfect because that gives people so many opportunities to kind of, drop off the things that they need to help the kids, which is really the most important. And of course, back to school supplies are one of the big ways that we help kids when they head back to school, but there's a lot of, mental and emotional things that can be difficult on a child heading back to school. And do you have any advice for parents, as they are preparing to send their children back to school this year?
Absolutely. So the beginning of the year is so exciting, and the kids are thrilled, especially for the open houses that are coming up soon. So my biggest thing for parents, my advice would be always, go out and be a part.
Yeah.
Join, come to open house, make yourself available, and build those relationships with your teachers, your kids' new teachers.
Yeah.
Go ahead and start that now as soon as possible. So get out there, support your kid, be involved.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And thank you guys so much for all of the advice that you guys share with us today and the information about the back to school drive. And parents, we are so excited for you guys as you send your kids back to school. And of course, remember to be supportive of your child and their teacher this upcoming school year.